I'm 95 years old, and I need to tell you something that nobody prepared me for, something that I discovered too late, and now I'm watching it destroy people I love. Retirement costs more than money, way more. And if I had just 5 more years, just 5, I would spend every single day screaming this truth from the rooftops. But I don't have 5 years. I probably don't even have 2. So I'm telling you now while I still can. Because what retirement really costs, nobody talks about it. Not your financial advisor, not your retirement planner, not the books or the seminars or the experts who think they know. They all focus on the money, how much you need to save, what percentage to withdraw, when to claim Social Security, and sure, that matters. But it's not even close to the real cost. The real cost is everything they don't tell you about. And by the time you figure it out, it's too late to go back. I retired at 67. That was the plan. Work hard, save money, retire with enough to be comfortable, and I did everything right. Had a good pension, solid savings, paid off house. On paper, I was set. My wife Eleanor and I, we were going to travel, spend time with grandkids. Finally relax after 45 years of working. That was 28 years ago. Eleanor died 19 years ago. And in the 16 years since I've been alone, I've learned what retirement really costs. And it's bankrupted me in ways that have nothing to do with money. Here's what nobody tells you. When you retire, you don't just lose your job. You lose your identity. For 45 years, I was Robert Mitchell, aerospace engineer. That's who I was. People asked what I do. I had an answer. I had purpose, direction, a reason to get up every morning. Then I retired, and suddenly I was just Robert. Just some old guy with nothing to do. And you think you'll be fine with that. You think you'll enjoy not having to work. But the human brain doesn't work that way. We're wired to need purpose. And when you take that away, when you remove the structure and the goals and the sense of contributing something, you don't just relax. You start to disappear. I watched it happen to me. First few months were great. Slept in, read books, puttered around the house. But then what? Every day started to feel the same. Wake up, coffee, read the paper, maybe a project, dinner, TV, bed, repeat. And slowly, so slowly you don't even notice, you become invisible. People stop asking your opinion, stop including you in decisions. You're retired now. You're done. Your productive years are behind you. The second cost? Your relationships change in ways you can't predict. Eleanor and I had been married for 43 years when I retired. 43 good years. But we had never spent that much time together. When I was working, I'd leave at 7, come home at 6. We had evenings and weekends. We had space. We had our own lives that intersected beautifully. Then I retired, and suddenly I was home all day, every day, and she had her routines, her book club, her garden, her life. And now I was just there, in the way. We started getting on each other's nerves, little things, stupid things. I'd rearrange something in the kitchen, and she'd snap at me. She'd make plans without telling me, and I'd feel left out. We had to completely relearn how to be together, and it took years, years of tension and adjustment and figuring out new boundaries. Some couples don't make it through that. They retire, and within 2 years they're divorced. Couldn't handle being together that much. Then Eleanor got sick. Cancer. Ovarian. Aggressive. She fought for 3 years, and I watched her fade away piece by piece. And here's the third cost of retirement that nobody mentions. When tragedy strikes, when you lose the person who made retirement make sense, you're left with nothing. No job to distract you, no purpose to fall back on, just empty days stretching out forever. Eleanor died when I was 79, and suddenly this retirement I had planned so carefully became a prison. Every day felt exactly the same. Every day felt completely meaningless. I had money, I had health insurance, I had a nice house, but I had nothing to wake up for. People say grief gets easier with time. That's a lie. What happens is you just get used to carrying it. It becomes part of you. And at 95, I've been carrying it for 16 years. 16 years of waking up alone, eating alone, going to bed alone. Do you know what that does to a person? The isolation. I see my kids maybe once a month. They have their own lives, their own problems. I'm just this obligation they have to check on. Make sure the old man hasn't fallen or died. They don't mean to be distant. They're busy. But that's the fourth cost of retirement. You become peripheral. You're no longer central to anyone's life except maybe your spouse. And if you lose them, you're just floating, unanchored, unnecessary. I have friends who died within 6 months of retiring. Just dropped dead, and doctors will tell you it's coincidence. Bad luck. But I don't think so. I think they lost their purpose, and their body said, well, why keep going? There's research on this. People who retire with no plan, no purpose, they decline faster, physically and mentally, because humans need to feel useful. We need to feel like we matter. And retirement, the way we've structured it, it tells you the opposite. It says, your useful years are over. Go sit on the sideline. Wait to die. That's not living. That's just existing. Here's what I would tell people if I had 5 more years. Don't retire to nothing. Retire to something. Have a plan that's not about relaxation. Have a purpose, something that gets you out of bed. Could be volunteering. Could be a part-time job you actually enjoy. Could be a project or a cause or learning something new. But it has to matter. It has to give your days structure and meaning. Because if you retire to emptiness, emptiness is what you'll get. And it will eat you alive. Second thing I'd tell people, your relationships need maintenance. More maintenance in retirement than before. Because you're going to be around each other way more. You're going to get on each other's nerves. You need to have honest conversations about expectations, about space, about how you'll structure your days. Eleanor and I figured it out eventually, but it took years and a lot of fights. Don't waste those years. Talk about it up front. Third, save more than you think you need. Not just for emergencies, for experiences. Because here's what happens. You retire and you have all this time, but you're scared to spend money. What if you run out? What if you need it for medical bills? So you hoard it. You scrimp. You say no to trips and experiences because you're worried about the future. And then you're 95 like me, sitting on money you never enjoyed, and you realize you wasted your healthy years being afraid. I have more money now than I did when I retired. You know why? Because I stopped doing anything, stopped traveling after Eleanor died, stopped going to restaurants, stopped living. And now I'm too old to enjoy it anyway. What's the point of having money if you're too frail to use it? Fourth, take care of your health like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every decision you make in your 50s and 60s will determine what your 70s and 80s look like. I'm 95, and I'm still relatively healthy, still mobile, still sharp. But I'm the exception. Most people my age are in nursing homes or dead. And the difference? I walked every day, ate reasonably well, stayed active. The people who retired and just sat in front of the TV, they declined fast. Use it or lose it isn't a cliché. It's a biological fact. Fifth, and this is the one that breaks my heart, don't wait until retirement to live your life. I see young people, and they're grinding themselves into dust, thinking they'll enjoy life later, after they retire, and maybe they will. But maybe they won't make it to retirement. Or maybe they'll make it, but their health will be gone. Or their spouse will be gone. Or they'll be too tired or too broken or too late. I watched my son do this. He's 71 now, just retired, worked his entire life, barely saw his kids grow up, missed so much, and now he's retired and his wife has dementia. She doesn't even remember who he is half the time. All those years he put off, all those experiences he delayed, they're gone. You can't get them back. Time doesn't refund. The biggest cost of retirement is realizing that you spent your whole life preparing for something that isn't what you thought it would be. You imagine retirement as freedom, and maybe it is for a while, but then it becomes something else. It becomes loneliness, purposelessness, invisibility. It becomes watching the world move on without you, watching your friends die one by one, watching your own body betray you little by little, losing your independence inch by inch until you can't drive or you can't walk or you can't remember things anymore. I'm 95 years old. I've outlived almost everyone I knew. My wife, my siblings, most of my friends, even some of my children. My oldest son died 4 years ago, 74 years old, heart attack. And I had to bury my own child. That's not supposed to happen. Parents aren't supposed to outlive their kids. But when you live this long, sometimes you do. And that cost? There's no preparing for it. There's no financial plan that cushions that blow. You just endure it. You just keep breathing, because stopping isn't an option. People ask me what it's like to be 95, what it's like to have lived this long, and I tell them the truth. It's lonely, it's isolating, it's watching everything you knew disappear. The world I grew up in is gone. The people I loved are gone. The person I used to be is gone. I'm just this shell carrying memories that nobody cares about. When I die, all those memories die with me. Everything I experienced, everything I learned, gone. Like I was never here. That's what retirement costs when you live too long. Relevance. Connection. The sense that your life mattered to anyone besides yourself. If I had 5 more years, I'd spend them telling people to stop treating retirement like the finish line. It's not the end of your life. It's a transition. And if you don't prepare for it mentally and emotionally, not just financially, it will crush you. You need to know who you are outside of your job. You need to have relationships that aren't just work relationships. You need hobbies and interests and reasons to exist that have nothing to do with a paycheck. Because when that paycheck stops, you need to still have a reason to get up in the morning. But I don't have 5 more years. I probably don't have one. My body is wearing out. I can feel it. Every day is a little harder than the day before, and soon, very soon, I'll be gone. And everything I learned, everything I wish I could tell people, it'll die with me. Unless someone listens. Unless someone hears this and makes different choices. That's why I'm making this video. Not for me, for you. So you don't end up 95 and alone, wishing you had understood sooner what retirement really costs. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't waste the time you have now planning for a future that might not be what you think. Live now. Plan for later. But don't sacrifice now for a later that isn't guaranteed. Because retirement costs everything you don't prepare for. And once you're living it, there's no going back. There's no second chance. There's just the time you have left and the regrets you carry. Don't let your regrets outnumber your memories. Don't end up like me. Learn this lesson while you still have time to do something about it.